Very often, it happens that supervillains and superheroes change their sides for one reason or another, some even several times. In today's video, I have collected for you the top 10 characters who go from the dark side to the light side. And we'll start with Wanda and Pietro Maximoff, who, wanting revenge on Tony Stark for the death of their parents, joined Ultron, who promised them to kill Stark. However, in the end, they became disillusioned with the methods of Ultron, who decided to completely destroy humanity and switched to the side of the Avengers. Unfortunately, Pietro did not have time to become a new Avenger because he was killed by Ultron, but Wanda joined the new Defenders of the Earth team. In ninth place is Nebula, who, along with Gamora, was brought up by Thanos and Ronan. They wanted to make them highly skilled killers, so they strongly encouraged the spirit of rivalry in them, and the girls were always at enmity. Nebula was eager to kill her superior sister, who was extremely opposed to Thanos and his ambitions. However, after the fight on the planet Ego, the sisters concluded a truce, and in the battle against Celestial, Nebula finally joined the Guardians. In the 8th place is the treacherous brother of Thor, Loki. Loki began his journey in the Marvel Cinematic Universe as a very clever villain, becoming the main antagonist of the first Avengers film. However, in subsequent Marvel projects, Thor's brother gradually began to master the role of a positive character, periodically performing heroic deeds. Even Loki accepted his death in an attempt to destroy the most important evil of the universe, Thanos. Who would have thought that at least one day, the crazy beauty Harley Quinn would be transformed from an avid villain into a real superheroine? However, this was the way it was intended in the extended DC universe. Harley not only broke up with the most audacious villain Joker, but also participated twice in saving the world. In the latest movie, The Suicide Squad, she personally defeats the giant Starro, piercing his huge eye spectacularly in a jump. 7th place. In 6th place is Harry Osborne, who replaced his father by becoming the new Green Goblin in the movie Spider-Man 3. Blaming Spider-Man for the death of his father, Harry did not give up revenge even after he found out that his best friend Peter was hiding under the mask of a superhero. However, after learning from the family's butler about the true death of Norman Osborn, after some hesitation, Harry still comes to help his friend, defeating the Sandman. And then he sacrifices himself completely, saving Peter's life. In 5th place is another enemy of Spider-Man, who eventually realized that he no longer wanted to be a villain and told Parker the truth about his uncle, after which Peter forgave Moko. Then Flint flew off in an unknown direction. But in the movie Spider-Man No Way Home, because of the magic of Doctor Strange, the Sandman falls into another reality, where the local Spider-Man immediately came to the rescue. But the Green Goblin knocks him off the right path. In 4th place is Mystique, who in the first X-Men films, played by Rebecca Romijn, corresponded to comics and was an avid villain, being in the Brotherhood of Mutants under the leadership of Magneto. However, in the new parts of the X-Men universe, the heroine already performed by Jennifer Lawrence turns out to be one of the main heroines fighting on the side of good. In third place, one of the strongest mutants is Magneto. Having lost his family because of people's hatred of mutants, he decided to fight in every possible way for the rights of all mutants on the Earth, considering them the highest race. Both in comics and in films, unlike Professor X, Magneto did not believe that humans and mutants could coexist, but he repeatedly changes his views, switching from one side to the other. In second place is the Winter Soldier. Bucky Barnes became one of the Hydra's best ruthless killers against his will. So when, after meeting his best friend Steve, his memory began to recover, Bucky began to realize everything he had done. After the final battle in the movie Captain America: The Winter Soldier, Bucky begins to doubt himself and eventually saves Steve, who refused to fight, from death in the water, after which his memory is partially restored and he joins the Avengers. Well, in first place, one of the most formidable enemies of Spider-Man is Venom. This is a real killing machine, constantly biting off people's heads, which according to the canons has always been a typical villain. That's why his transition into anti-heroes was so interesting. The latest version of Eddie Brock, performed by Tom Hardy, paired with Calentarian, is now using their capabilities for the benefit of humanity. And now Venom is one of the most popular tough superheroes who has got into the Marvel Cinematic Universe.